प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुर्लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्त्याख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। Okay, Hare Krishna. So welcome to morning session on Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know, some reason due to weather change or something, my throat is gone. It's almost 4 or 5 days. I'm doing gargling. Still, it's not improving. So I don't know when. So please bear with me. Okay, let's read from in continuation. 9.11, Canto 2. Shyama va dataha satapatra lochanaha Vishanga vastra surucha supeshashaha Sharvachattu bahava unmishanmani praveka nishka varanaha suvarchasaha. So the key word here is suvarchasaha. Suvarchasaha means something that is glaring, that is glowing, very powerfully effulgent. So what is that was glowing? And to whom it was glowing? We'll see that. The inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are described as having glowing bluish complexion. We discussed this in the previous look also. They were also having a similar color like the hue, the shama on their body. Their eyes resemble lotus flowers. It was like lotus flowers. I think we read this sloka, right? Yeah. We read this sloka, right? Last class?
Yes, Prabhu. To 9.11 Prabhu.
We finished, yeah. Okay. So anyway, because we started, let's read the translation. The rice is from a lotus flower dressed in a yellowish color, and their body features very attractive. Okay. So these are the personalities who are in Vaikuntha Loka having Swarupya Mukti. They're just the age of glowing youths. They all have 4 hands. They're nicely decorated with pearl necklaces, with ornament, medallions. They all appear to be effulgent. Okay, we'll read 9.12. Pravala Vaidurya Mrinala Varchasaha Parishpurat Kundala Mauli Malina. Translation. Some of them are effulgent like coral and diamonds in complexion. They have garlands on their heads and blooming like lotus flower, and some wearing earrings. So you must have seen pictures of Narada Muni where he will fold his hair and put like a knot on his head. And above that, around that, he'll have a flower garland. Have you noticed? So that is something like having garlands on their heads. Blooming like lotus flower and wearing earrings, kundalam. Okay. So here it says, people who have attained Sarupya. Sarupya means the same form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or possessing bodily features like the Godhead. The Vaidurya diamond is especially meant for the personality of Godhead. But one achieves the liberation of bodily equality, that is Sarupya, with the Lord, they also get that bodily diamonds on, or they get those precious diamonds embedded in their body. Right? So even in Bhuloka, we saw that. We saw some personalities have uh, precious stones on their body. Who's that? Who has precious stones on their body? Oh,
Tirupati Venkatachalapati Prabhu.
I'm talking about individuals, living entities. No? Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama used to have a special gem on his head. So you can see that even in this material world, some of them possess those kinds. Even it is said in the Shastra that some snakes also possess these precious stones on their head. The king of the snakes. Okay. 9.13. Rajishnubir yapparito virajate lasad vimana valibir mahatmanam vidyotamanaha paramodatat adyubhihi savidyut abravale valibir yatanabha. The Vaikuntha planets. So now we're going to describe more about the place. We're also surrounded by various airplanes, all glowing and brilliantly situated. These airplanes belong to the great Mahatmas or devotees of the Lord. The ladies are as beautiful as lightning because of their celestial complexion. And all these combined together appears just like the sky decorated with both clouds and lightning. So we saw this airplane pastime in many places in Bhagavatam, right? Can you all name few places where we saw living entities possessing airplanes in those days?
Ravana, Prabhu.
Ravana, okay. What sort of airplane he possessed?
Is a Pushpak of that belongs to Kuvera.
He possessed that. Okay. Then who else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandvat Pranam. All the demigods in the Vaikuntha planets.
I'm asking
No.
a specific question, who possessed what?
Okay.
Kardama Muni made his airplane for Devavati.
Kardo Muni made airplane. I don't know whether. Are you sure?
Yeah,
I
it
don't.
was a spaceship.
Okay. So we know Chitraketu Maharaj had a spaceship, right? That's when the great pastime happened. He was flying around in a spaceship, and from the spaceship, he looked at Parvati sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva, and he laughed, right? So there we have. Then we also had this one devotee who got defeated by Krishna many times, 14 times.
Poundraka Prabhu. Poundraka.
See, please avoid guessing. If you're guessing, guess to yourself. Otherwise, search on Google. No, it's there, right? Who was this person? Who's that who kept fighting with Krishna and keep on getting defeated? Jarasandha. So how many times he got defeated?
17 times.
Yeah. And he had big spaceships. And he used to come and fight with Krishna. So these airplanes they're talking are not like the airplanes that we are having. We have all small airplanes. These airplanes are like almost, you can say, one city getting up and flying in the space. Like that will be. Even in today, in the material planets, so if you take the upper material planets, let's name the upper material planets. After Bhuloka, we have Bhuvarloka, then we have Svargaloka. Now, around Svargaloka is Dhruvaloka. Then let's go beyond. What are the planets above Svargaloka? The 4 planets are there.
Loka,
Huh?
Tapoloka,
Tapaloka,
Brahmaloka,
Brahmaloka,
Vaikuntham.
Maharloka, Janaloka.
Maharaku Jananaku.
Aharloka. Then we have Brahma Satyaloka. Okay. So now if you read the 5th canto Bhagavatam, it will explain that people in Tapaloka, right, they have such big, big airplanes, and by which they will travel from one place to another. Because the size of the planets between the Earth planet and the higher planets also increases in dimension. And they used to travel by such planes. And these planes don't require fossil fuel nor solar energy, all by the spiritual potency that they can go up, fly, right? So this is what is explained here. So when material world itself are many examples where they can possess such things, imagine the spiritual world. Unlimited such things will be possessed. And it said here, the ladies are beautiful like lightning because of the celestial complexion. We have seen many examples of beautiful ladies in Srimad Bhagavatam. Unmatched beauties. But however, all the ladies possessed in the material world have some defects or the other. But imagine the ladies in the Vaikuntha planets. They'll be free of blemishes. Okay, so can someone read the purport? We require the seniors can avoid reading. Juniors can start to read. Give them a chance.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Aeroplanes brilliantly glowing and they are
Here.
occupied.
Yes, here, Mataji, left hand side bottom. Purport.
Okay. It appears that in the Vaikuntha planets, there are also aeroplanes brilliantly glowing and they are occupied by the great devotees of the Lord with ladies of celestial beauty as brilliant as lightning. There are aeroplanes, so there must be different types of carriages like aeroplanes, but they may not be driven machines as we have experience in this world because of everything is of the same nature of eternity, bliss and knowledge. The aeroplanes and the carriers are of the same quality as Brahman. Although there is nothing except Brahman, one should not mistakenly think that there is only void and no variegatedness. Thinking like that is due to a poor fount of knowledge. Otherwise, no one would have such a misconception of voidness in Brahman. As there are aeroplanes, ladies and gentlemen, so there must be cities and houses and everything else just suitable to the particular planets. One should not carry the ideas of imperfection from this world to the transcendental world and not take into consideration to the nature of atmosphere as completely free from the influence of time, etc., as described previously.
Okay. So we'll read more. So here, what are the key things now? See, these airplanes, there are different types of carriages like airplanes, but they may not be driven by machines like we have experienced in this world, right? So they don't run on machines or foil fill or nothing. They just run because of the spiritual potency. Okay. Now, look at this line. Because everything is of the same nature of eternity. All the qualities of the elements in the Vaikuntha planets, they have similar properties. What is the first property? Eternity, bliss, and knowledge. That means every particle there is fully aware. Why it exists, what is its purpose of existence, and what are its duties, and how to serve the Lord. Right? That is the knowledge they possess. And they live there in eternity. Because they're eternal, because they're fully knowledgeable about their existence, they're always in the state of bliss. Bliss is happiness, extreme happiness. The airplanes and carriages are of same quality as Brahman. See, Brahman, the effulgence that comes out of the body of Krishna, becomes the source of all these three things: eternity, bliss, and knowledge. So what Bhagavatam is trying to say, every particle is having the same qualities. That means the airplane and the carriages which are made of these, they are also fully aware of. They are very similar to what the Brahmans. Then, and this one. As there are airplanes, ladies and gentlemen, so there must be cities, houses, and everything else just suitable for a particular planet. So today, if you conceptualize the material world, okay, you have things for transportation. You have men, you have women. You have activities. You have food to eat. You have many activities to perform, festivals to perform, prayers, fully knowledgeable. So whatever you have that you see here, they are perverted reflection. The reflection, if you see, so for example, if you stand in front of the mirror, you see the reflection of yourself on the mirror. But if the mirror is distorted, if the mirror is, let's say, having a lot of scratches or some, some chemical reaction on the silver portion, you will see the image is not visualized properly. That is what you will notice in the mirror. The image is distorted. So you can consider all the activities present in the spiritual world. It is also present in the material world, but in a perverted form or a distorted form. So that's what is being mentioned here. And importantly, the influence of time. In the material world, we are influenced by time. What happens when something gets influenced by time? The first thing is, when it's influenced by time, the word eternity is lost. That means it has a definite time of its lifespan. First, that means it will be born and it will die. That's the first influence of time. Second influence of time is its properties, its form, everything changes, right? You can experience that in the material world. You take a tree, when it was born like a small plant, it was tender, small, and maybe I would say weaker. But the influence of time, it became big, it can produce fruits, became stronger, but of course it is not beautiful because it's the body is scaling and things like that. See, time changed. Even for us, maybe we were more beautiful when we were younger, but now when we're older, we don't look beautiful, we look ordinary. Forget all these things, even things, let's say you make some food item. It becomes stale, it gets spoiled by time. See, that's what time does. So time removes eternality, time removes or changes the properties of every element in this world. So this is the major part in the material world. But in the spiritual world, time may be present, but it does not influence the elements or the people in that world, the Vaikuntha planets. That's what you have to understand. Is that clear? So time is biggest enemy for us. It runs so fast. whatever opportunity that is supposed to be there for us is gone because of time. A student who is studying in his middle school, high school, 1 year if he doesn't study, time will detain. That's a time lost. His education career is gone. So that's how powerful time is. And Krishna says, I am time. I am Kala. So that's why it is in Bhagavatam, it is said, time is like a snake. It will devour us in the form of death. Hmm? Is this clear? Is the concept clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good, good. So we'll read 9.14. Shrir yatra rupini urugaya padayaho karoti manam bahuda vibhuttibihi prenkam shrita ya kushuma karanugai vigiyamana priya karma gayati. Goddess of fortune in a transcendental form, Lakshmi ji, in a transcendental form, not in any vigraha or material form, is engaged in loving service of the Lord's lotus feet, being moved by the black bees, followers of spring. She is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, service to the Lord, along with her constant companions, but is also engaged in singing the glories of Lord's activities. Okay? So now what is the comparison? Why bees are being spoken about here? You have to understand significance. Lakshmi ji is the topmost in opulence. What opulence she possesses? Not just wealth. She possesses beauty, she possesses knowledge, she possesses attractiveness, great services, everywhere. She's opulent. That is the glory of Lakshmi ji. And what position she has taken? She has taken loving service to the Lord's lotus feet. She did not even go sit on Lord's head. So you can go to any Vishnu temple. You can see Lakshmi ji is near the lotus feet of Lord and she is massaging his feet. That's her position. Now, there's a comparison given between her and a bee. What is the comparison? She has such a sweet voice and she sings the glories of Lord while she does her service. Now, for example, she's massaging the lotus feet of Vishnu and she is glorifying either the pastimes of Vishnu, the 64 qualities of Vishnu. She'll take one of the quality and just glorify that quality. Let's say, compassionate nature of the Lord. She'll just sing various situations, various qualities of that, attributing to compassionate nature of the Lord. And she'll glorify the Lord. So, the two things in this are glorification. One, the subject, the content of her singing is very attractive. And her voice is also so sweet, very attractive. So it is soothing to the ears of the Lord, Narayan. A bee which comes here, look at it. A black bee which comes, followers of the spring. That means whenever spring season starts, you will see the flowers bloom. When the flowers bloom, the flowers produce nectar. To suck that nectar, the bees come searching for that nectar. And how does the bees produce sound? They produce zzz. Now look at the quality of the sound of the bees. Is there anywhere compared to the sweetness of a singing of Lakshmi ji? But what it says in the Vaikuntha Loka, the consciousness and the mood is such that whether it is a bee or whether it is Lakshmi ji, all get opportunity to please the Supreme Personality of God. Lord accepts that service. Just like Ram accepted the small stone that was carried by the squirrel to make the bridge, and the large mountain carried by Hanumanji to construct the bridge. He said both our services are equal. The enthusiasm is that matters. It is not the size that matters. How? Hanuman, according to his strength, he lifted. The squirrel, according to his strength, he lifted. That is the point here. Okay? Is this clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
15. Tadarsha tatra kila satvatam patim shriyapatim yagnapatim jagatpatim sunandananda prabalar anadibihi swa parshada grai parishevitam vipam. Now this meaning alone we'll read. Very interesting it is. Okay. Dadrasha means Brahmaji saw. That darshan he saw. Tatra, in the Vaikuntha Loka, that means Brahmaji is not in the Vaikuntha Loka. He still saw the view of Vaikuntha planets. You have this sloka in Brahma Samhita also, very glorified. Goloka Nivashe, like that the sloka comes. Akila, entire, Satvatam of the great devotees, Patim of the Lord. So, he is the husband of all the devotees. Shriya, the goddess of fortune, Patim, that means he is husband of the goddess of fortune. Yajna, of all sacrifices, he is the Patim, that means he is the Lord of all the sacrifices. Bhoktaram, Yajna Tapasham, that way. Jagat, of the universe. Patim, that means he is the Lord of the universe. Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, Arhana, Adibhi, by them, Saprasada, own associates. Parishevitam, being served in transcendence. That means it is talking about the greatest of the personalities like Lakshmi and all other different kinds of personalities. Right? They're also serving Narayan. Like that it is. Okay. Can someone read this translation purport?
Hare Krishna, please. The Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Narada, Sunanda, Prabala, and
Nanda.
Apan, Arhana, his immediate associates. Purport. When we speak of king, is naturally understood that king is accompanied by his confidential associates, like his secretary, private secretary, aide de camp, ministers, and advisors. So also when we see the Lord, we see him with his different energies, associates, confidential servitors, etc. So the Supreme Lord, who is the leader of all living entities, the Lord of devotees, sex, a Lord of all opulences, the Lord of sacrifices, and the enjoyer of everything in his entire creation, is not only the Supreme Person, but also always surrounded by his immediate associates, all engaged in their loving transcendental service to him. Hare Krishna.
So the takeaway message is, whatever may be our position may be as opulent in the material world, or we may be ordinary. Our duty is to be engaged in loving transcendental service unto him. That is the take-home message out of this sloka. Okay? 9.16. Britya prasada bhimukam drik ashavam prasanna hasaruna Lochananam Kiritanam Kundalinim Chaturbhujam Pitam Shukam Vakshashi Lakshitam Shriya. It's a very beautiful translation. The personality of God head, seen leaning forward towards his loving servitor. That means what? Whoever it may be, a king in a country will be neutral. That means whether his own people or whether a person in the kingdom is putting up a petition, the king will grant that petition if it is, alignment with the rules. He will not differentiate. Oh, this is my person who was given this request, so I will do. Oh, this person, someone I don't even know from the country is coming and giving, so I will not do. No. Lord never differentiates. The Lord is always equal. But however, for people who are constantly serving Him, the Lord does special favors for that person. That is called as leaning favorable towards His loving servitors. How He is favorable, we see. His very sight intoxicating and attractive. He will give special darshan to the devotees by seeing that the rupa of the Lord, the form of the Lord. The devotee's heart gets nourished. They feel very comfortable. Appear to be much satisfied. The devotees, by that, they're satisfied. They don't want anything else in this world. Because they got the shelter of the Lord. He had a smiling face decorated with enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands and his chest was marked with the lines of goddess of fortune. So this is the special mercy. So for devotees, the Lord gives this form. Form is described here. This form, He would give darshan to the devotees. That is the special compassion and favor He does to the loving servitors, loving serving devotees. We take many examples. When Prahlad Maharaj was serving the Lord so much, he had so much loving service. The Lord gave that darshan. Dhruva Maharaj, when he was practicing intense tapasya, the Lord gave that darshan. Many devotees, when they perform that intense tapasya, Lord gives that darshan. Even today, for us, many of us we say, right? Oh Prabhu, I went to Vrindavan, went to Mayapur, I went to Tirupati. Somehow I got a super darshan. I was able to stand there for 15 minutes, 25 minutes, get darshan of the Lord. Like that we say, no? Since the Lord is not showing His transcendental form, He is showing His Archa Vigraha form in that one to us. He is making arrangements so that we can take that darshan. So, this is a special favor Lord does to us. It is said that unless mercy of Radharani comes, we will not be able to visit the place of Vrindavan. Unless the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, we will not be able to visit the place of Maya. So one may desire, Prabhu, I have money, I can easily visit this place. But somehow or other you will not be able to visit. But once the invitation from Radharani comes, we'll get the strength, opportunity to go to Vrindavan. So that's the glory. Can someone read the purport?
Hare Krishna. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakanda, there is a full description of the Yoga Pita. are the particular place where the Lord is in audience to his eternal devotees. In the Yoga Pita, the personifications of religion, knowledge, opulence, and renunciations are all seated at the lotus feet of the Lord. The four Vedas, namely Rigsveda, Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva are present there personally to advise the Lord. The 16 energies headed by Chanda are all present there. Chanda and Kumuda are the first two doorkeepers. At the middle doorkeepers. At the middle door are the doorkeepers named Bhadra and Subhadra, and at the last door are Jaya and Vijaya. There are other doorkeepers also named Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Vamana, Sankakurna, Sarvenetra, Sumukha, etc. The Lord's palace is well decorated and protected by the above mentioned doorkeepers. Hare Krishna.
So now you see how many? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 doors to the Vaikuntha planets. So you have 7 pairs of doorkeepers standing there and guarding. So this Jai and Vijaya is the last door. That means if you open that 7th door, then you can enter the Vaikuntha planet to see the Lord in person. That's the door. Jai and Vijaya are doorkeepers. Okay. Yeah. 17. Adya Aniyashanam Astitam Param Tam Chatuhu Shodasha Pancha Shakti Bihi Yuktam Bagai Swai Itaratra Chadurvai Swayeva Dhamam Ramamanam Ishwaram. The Lord was seated in his throne, on his throne, and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, the 16, the 5, and 6 natural opulences, along with other significant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord enjoying his own number. So now we will see what these energies are. This purport is important. We have to read the entire purport. Someone, please read the purport.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, read much.
The Lord is naturally endowed with his 6 opulences. Specifically, he is the richest, he is the most powerful, he is the most famous, he is the most beautiful, he is the greatest in knowledge, and he is the greatest renouncer as well. And for his material creative energies, he is served by 4, namely the principles of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. He is also.
So wait, Mataji, 1 second.
Yeah.
So Prakriti is the entire material element. Purusha is the controller of this material element. Purusha is the enjoyer of this material element. The Mahatattva is the shell, the anda. The ego is the ahankara. Okay. Read, Mataji.
He is also served by the 16, namely the 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and sky, and 5 perspective sense organs: the ear, nose, eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin.
Pause. So first is the 5 dravyas, that means the earthly elements, 5 gross elements. Then the sense organs. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Then now next is karmendriyas, the one which do activities. Read that much.
The working sense organs: the hand, leg, stomach, evacuation, outlet, and genitals, and the mind. The 5, can I proceed?
So 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15. plus mind is 16. So these are 16 elements.
The 5 includes the sense objects, namely form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All these 25 items serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them personally present to the Lord to serve the Lord. The insignificant opulence numbering 8, the Ashtasiddhi attained by the yogi for temporary overlordship are also under his control. But he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord.
Hmm.
The living being, by severe penance and performance of bodily exercise, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not make him the Supreme Lord.
Pause. So this is what all these yogis do. So you must have seen Kumbh Mela. Many yogis from the Himalaya regions, they come down and they demonstrate their what is called as Siddhic powers. By performing these Siddhic powers or performing deep meditation, uh, a yogi can attain Siddhic powers. What is a Siddhi? We've read many Siddhis, right? He can easily transport himself from one place to another in a fraction of a second. You may be wondering, where is Himalayas and where is Prayagraj? Very far. They don't have car or airplane to come. So how do they come on time? Through Siddhic power. In fact, if you read the book Journey of an American Swami by Radhanath Maharaj, he travels in Himalayas, in various locations in Himalayas. There he saw many yogis sitting and performing. In one expression he gives, he saw a cave, and in front of a cave, there was this one yogi was sitting, and he was not sitting on the surface of a rock or anything. He was floating. Maharaj writes in his book, he saw that in his eyes. He says he was floating at least 6 inches to 12 inches. And then he was sitting and watching him for some time. And after some time, he comes down, comes out of his meditative posture, then goes inside this cave. So Maharaj follows him. And inside the cave, there was a big vessel. And he took some wood logs and then kept it below the vessel. Then he did like this, and he chanted some mantra. And immediately the fire burned. And in that big vessel, there's no water, no dal, nothing. And when he chanted the mantra, immediately the big vessel was filled with dal, water, ghee, everything, and started to boil. And no matter of time, when the food was ready, he ate that food. Again, he came out and started to meditate. All these things are there in this book. You can read it. So, the point here is, when severe penances and yoga is performed, it is not to, he may get some powers, but that does not make him Supreme Lord, or does not make him to even reach the lotus feet of the Supreme. So that's why such yogis, when they realize that what they've been doing for all these years, many thousands of years, they said, okay, I've just wasted my time. Let me become a devotee. And such yogis, they become powerful devotees in serving the Supreme. Read, Mataji.
The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi. He is unlimitedly more learned than any jnani. He is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. He is unlimitedly more beautiful than any beautiful living being, and he is unlimitedly more charitable than any philanthropist. He is above all. No one is equal to, greater than him, nor can anyone reach his level of perfection in any of the above powers by any amount of penance or yogic demonstrations. The yogis are dependent on his mercy. Out of his immensely charitable disposition, he can award some temporary powers to the yogis because of the yogis hankering after them. But to his unalloyed devotees who do not want anything from the Lord and Lord save and expect his transcendental service, the Lord is so pleased that he gives himself in exchange for unalloyed service. Hare Krishna.
So there are two parts here you have to understand. The Lord possesses infinite energies. Anyone wants to take the shelter of the energy of the Lord, they do all this yogic aspect. They may derive. For example, these siddhis, they derived many things. It is said, no? Like beauty, like power, like money. They took all those possessions. Now, even this, our day-to-day life, you can see there are many festivals, there are many important dates in the calendar year. They perform some vrata and they are awarded. That's how they also become very comfortable in this material life. So, to all these people, Lord supplies his energies. But for devotees, what does the Lord do? The Lord does not give his energy. The Lord gives himself. Right? And that's the beauty or speciality of a devotee compared to any other forms of personalities who perform austerities or tapasya. So, the goal of our devotion service is to please the Lord. The goal of our devotion service is to attain purity in our consciousness. The goal of our devotion service is to know the Lord. And how do we know the Lord? The Lord reveals out of his causeless mercy. This should be the goal of our devotion service. It should not be anything else. Then, result of such devotion service is the Lord offers himself to us, to that devotee. So that's what the Lord did to the gopis, the Gopakumars. They were not going after the energy of the Lord. They wanted only the Lord. So Lord said, there is nothing that I can do to please you by my energies. I will only please by giving myself to you. Okay? So 9.18. Tad darshanat Hare Krishna, please excuse me. Tad darshanalada pariplutantaro Hishyat prema Varashulochana Nanama Padambujam Asya Vishwasrig Yat Parama Amshena Patadigamyate. Lord Brahma, the seeing the personality of God. Now, all these things that we are reading is an explanation of Lord Brahma when he visualized this whole thing because of the causeless mercy of the Lord. And when that happened, because he went into tapasya for thousands of celestial years, meditating on the Lord. So hence it is said, Lord Brahma, thus seeing the personality of Godhead in his fullness, was overwhelmed. What is overwhelmed? Extreme emotion, that he could not control his emotion. What sort of emotion he demonstrated? Joy within his heart. He cannot express that happiness in his heart overflowing. I don't know what does this mean. And thus in full transcendental love and ecstasy. His eyes filled with tears of love. Non-stop tears flowing out of his eyes. Thus he bowed down before the Lord. That is the way of highest perfection for a living being. He is in the state of Paramahamsa. So it is said that when you see Lord Ranganatha, or when you see Radha Madhava, or when you see Radha Shamasan, or when you see Gaur-Nitai, you should be in incessant flow of tears. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante Leela, Mahaprabhu would get up in the morning, go to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. Once he sees Jagannath, he is completely lost in his consciousness. Wherever he sees, he only sees Krishna with his Tribhanga pose, with his flute in his mouth. That's what he sees. Wherever he sees, whomever he sees, that much deep involvement. And when he sees Jagannath, he will be so much in love with Jagannath that love is flowing out. It chokes his voice, vocal cords. He can't even say Jagannath. He'll say Ja, 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 like that he would say. Right? And that's the transcendental love and ecstasy Mahaprabhu demonstrated. Okay, let's read the purport. Someone read the purport. Everyone?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
You took your turn, no, Mataji?
Yeah, yes.
We'll give turn to someone else, Mataji. Others who wants to read?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Read, Mataji.
In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that this great literature is meant for the Paramhansas. Paramo
Nirmat Saranam
Nirma
Satam.
Satam. That is the Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for the for persons completely free from malice. In the conditioned life, the malicious life begins from the top, namely bearing malice against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Personality of Godhead is an established fact in all the revealed scriptures. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the personal features of the Supreme Lord is especially mentioned. So much so that the last portion of the great literature has uh, emphatically stressed that one should surrender onto the personality of Godhead to be saved from the miseries of life. Unfortunately, persons with impious backgrounds do not believe in the personality of Godhead, and everyone wants to become God himself without any qualification. This malicious nature in the conditioned soul continues even up to the stage when a person wants to be one with the Lord, and thus even the greatest of the empiric
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 philosopher.
philosopher speculated on becoming one with the Supreme Lord cannot become a Paramhansa because the malicious mind is there.
Pause,
There,
Mataji. Pause.
yes.
So now he's talking about that one want to become God himself or one with the Lord. Okay. So now what are we doing? Many of us. Are we also competing with the Lord to become one with the Lord? I mean, to become like God. Are we competing? Who can give an example that we are doing or we are not doing? No? No examples? Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, did Krishna control Arjuna?
No, Prabhu.
No, he never controlled. Excellent. So what did he do to Arjuna?
He gives knowledge to Arjuna to understand.
He gives knowledge and inspires
Yes.
Arjuna. This is what you should do as duty. Correct?
Yes,
Then
Prabhu.
finally, what did he tell Arjuna? Now that I've given all this knowledge and duty, you choose what you want to do.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
Arjuna chose to fight. Did Lord anywhere control Arjuna? This is
No.
my instruction, you better do it. Otherwise, I will make your life miserable. He never did that, right? Okay. So now in our life, be it material life or spiritual life, if we demonstrate that Ishvara mentality, that is controlling mentality, you see, we are taking the position of the Lord in a smaller capacity. But the consciousness that matters, right? So in our life, since we are also born as servants and servants and servants of the Lord, we should never get into the mode of controlling one's desire, wishes, wants, activities. But what we shall do, we shall only inspire, motivate them so that they understand and get this knowledge and also practice. If we do this, then you see, you're acting as a servant of the Lord in the mission of the Lord. If you begin controlling devotees, if you do this, fine. If you don't do this, I will threaten you in an indirect manner. If we get into that mode, Lord himself doesn't control, but we are controlling others. So that's why it is said that mainly in our spiritual, network of devotees, we shall never control devotees. So hence Lord acts the karma platform onto this. If one controls the devotee, then the outcome of that karma, the reaction by that particular devotee, will be borne by the person who's controlling it. So what great devotees do? They come with a framework of rules and guidelines for a spiritual organization like this, for oneself. And then educate that to the people in the congregation. Inspire them, all the time inspire them, so that they can practice. And Bhagavatam gives so much of knowledge to inspire people. So we should take this to the greatest level. That's the perfection of devotion. Is this point very clear? When we don't possess this right knowledge, then it is said, malicious mind. Malicious mind is here, and that is the cause of the problem. The malicious mind is the one that causes the conditioning nature of this world. What is the meaning of condition? We are conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaika. So when we are conditioned by them, we suffer in this material world, the cause of rebirth. So let each one of us develop this consciousness that I am a facilitator. I will live my life to practice devotion, and I'll help others to practice devotion. I shall never get into the mode of controlling someone in practice of devotion. So you may ask, Prabhu, what if someone's making a mistake? Correct the mistake and educate the person. Don't hate the person. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Is this clear? Don't reject the person, but reject his attitude. That should be the mode that we should put. Is this point very clear as to malicious mind?
Prabhuji, what does the malicious word mean? I can't understand.
So now let's say you made laddu. Okay. After 3 days, you saw one portion of the laddu, there is fungus. So what do you understand when that fungus on that laddu is there?
It's not suitable to a consumption.
So it is spoiled, correct? It's spoiled, right?
Yes, yes.
So, or I can say it is infected. So what do? You generally throw the laddu. Okay. So now, in the case of human beings, we cannot throw the people. We correct their malicious intention. The intentions are spoiled. So correct them. This is clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, others, you got the concept?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. Sarla Mataji, please read. Therefore,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Therefore, the Paramhansa stage of life can be attained only by those who are fixed in the practice of Bhakti Yoga. This Bhakti Yoga begins if a person has the firm conviction that simply discharging devotional service to the Lord in the full transcendental love can elevate him to the highest perfectional stage of life. Brahmaji believed in this art of Bhakti Yoga. He believed in the instructions of the Lord to execute tapa, and he discharged the function with great penance and thus achieved the great success of seeing the Vaikuntha Lokas and the Lord also by personal experience. No one can reach the abode of the Supreme Lord by any mechanical means of the mind or machine, but one can reach the abode of the Vaikuntha Loka simply by following the process of Bhakti Yoga, because the Lord can be realized only only through the Bhakti Yoga process. Lord Brahmaji was actually sitting on his lotus seat, and from there, by executing the process of Bhakti Yoga in great seriousness, he he could see the Vaikuntha Lokas with all
variegatedness.
variegatedness, as well as the Lord is Lord in person and his associates.
So look at this keyword. This Bhakti Yoga begins here. I'm just highlighting this. This is the most important that we have to meditate on. Okay? The Bhakti Yoga begins if a person has a firm conviction that simply discharging devotion service to the Lord in transcendental love can elevate him. He does not say anything else. Okay? Simply discharging devotion service onto him. So every day when you practice, you ask this question. Am I discharging devotion service or am I doing something else? Ask this question every day to yourself. Today, what did I do? Did I waste my time here? Did I practice Bhakti Yoga or not? And that should be the goal. If you ask this question every day, you will see there is a slow, steady progress in the consciousness that you possess. You will ignore all other faults in this life. You will ignore all other things that are negative in this life. And you will only take the positive. Just like our email, right? We get hundreds of emails. In that you will see 95% are junk. Only 5% are correct emails for you to read. What do? You read only those 5 emails. 95, you move into junk. Who will go open the junk and read all those emails? Person who's jobless, who's wasting his energy. So like that, in Bhakti Yoga practice also, whatever is favorable to Bhakti, take that and do that. If your activity is not favorable to Bhakti, don't do it, ignore it. So how do you do that? Every day before going to bed, sit down and think, how was your day? How much of bhakti have I really practiced? How much I wasted? Think about it. And the following day must be a correction. Then following day must be a correction. So this is how you keep correcting your life. Okay. Yeah, read Mataji. Following the footsteps of Brahma.
Following in the footsteps of Lord Brahma, any person, even up to this day, can attain the same perfection by following the path of the Paramhansa, as recommended herein. Lord Chaitanya also approved of this method of self realization for man in this age. One should first, with all conviction, believe in the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, and without making efforts to realize him by speculative philosophy. One should prefer to hear about him from the Bhagavad Gita and later from the text of the Srimad Bhagavatam. One should hear such discourses from a and Bhagavatam and not from the professional man or from the karmi, jnani or yogi. That is the secret of learning the science. One does not need to be in the renounced order of life. He can remain in his present condition of life, but he must search out the association of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and hear from him the transcendental message of the Lord with faith and conviction. That is the path of the Paramhansa, recommended herein. Amongst various holy name of
Pause, Mataji. So here it is clearly association of devotees, right? Association of devotees is what will take us to the higher levels. What is the proof? There are many pastimes in Bhagavatam where you can see Lord came for a second and he vanished. So Dhruva Maharaj came and he went away. So Dhruva Maharaj question or prayers was, oh Lord, now you're here, I got your darshan, I got purified. But after you leave, what shall I do? Take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, take shelter of association of devotees. So Bhagavatam and association devotees are not different from the Lord. And that's the key message here. And that is how we can make progress. The moment we always stay away from devotees, not talk to them, not having conversations with them about Krishna Katha, not association, taking association, giving us all those things we don't do, then we see we're slowly drifting away from the soul process. Okay? Amongst various is the holy names of the Lord. Read Mataji.
amongst various holy name of the Lord, he is also called Ajita, or one who can never be conquered by anyone else. Yet he can be conquered by the Paramhansa path, as practically realized and shown by the great spiritual master, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma has personally recommended this Paramhansa Pantha in his own words as follows.
Jnane prayasam udapasya namante eva jivanti sannukha haritam avadiya vartam stane stitah sruti gatam anuvan manovir ye prayaso ajita jito abhi asittais trilokyam. The meaning is very
Lord,
beautiful. Read Mataji.
Lord Brahma said, O my Lord Krishna, a devotee who abandoned the path of empiric philosophical speculation aimed at merging in the existence of the Supreme and engages himself in hearing your glories and activities from a bona fide sadhu or saint, and who lived an honest life in the occupational engagement of his social life, can conquer your sympathy and mercy, even though you are Ajita or unconquerable. Bhagavatam 10.14.3. That is the path of the Paramhansa, which was personally followed by Lord Brahma and later recommended by him for attaining perfect success in life.
So we are children of Brahmaji. Lord Brahma is our grandfather. We are a Jivatma, Brahmaji is also Jiva. The difference is Brahmaji is a realized soul and is a great devotee of the Lord. But we, even though Brahmaji gave us an option with the human body, with his knowledge of the Vedas, and instructing his disciples to write this Vedas in a simplified format so that the next and next and next generations can also understand this subject very easily and practice. So, our primary duty is to follow this Vedic culture, understand this knowledge of Bhagavatam, and practice devotion. Because we are the grandchildren of Brahmaji. If we don't do that, that means even the opportunity is given, we have missed that opportunity and failed to practice them and lost the great, purpose of this human life. Probably went into, lower forms of life or lower planetary positions and continue to stay in this material. So, Brahmaji is helping us to become Paramahamsas like him. And he's giving all the tools and the knowledge. So we shall make use of it to perfect our life. Okay? So you can understand the position of Acharyas, position of Brahmaji, position of Vedavyasa. All these people, what are they trying to do us? They're helping us to become devotees. Practice to become pure-hearted Paramahamsas. Okay? So we'll end the class here today. Any questions, any doubts, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
You mentioned somewhere perverted position of this material world.
Yes, Prabhu.
To give little explanation, Prabhu, I could not able to get that point.
See, Prabhu, we'll take example of love. What is love? Love is between two personalities. It can be two males or two females or male-female. When love is in the pure format, what we do, we respect each other, we serve each other, we're always meditating on the welfare of the other person. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, for example, Prabhu, if I respect you and I do actions that will help you to become successful, then you will see you're also going to reciprocate the same thing back to me. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So, this is the purest form of love. Now, I wouldn't say purest form of love, this is the pure form of love. Now, the relationship exhibited between the Vrajavasis and Krishna, between the Gopakumaras and Krishna, the Gopis and Krishna, exhibited the purest form of love. Why? Because that is the consciousness in the Vaikuntha plants. Okay? So, for example, there could be a pure form of love exists between a man and a woman. And that could be having such characteristics. When that is perverted, what does that love become? Love becomes lust. Okay? What is lust? I want to enjoy you, you can enjoy me. Okay? And that is lust. So lust is not in the mode of goodness or pure goodness, but lust is in the mode of passion and ignorance. So everything that we do in this material world, you see, it's lust and greed. We don't have a pure love for the welfare and success of others. Now let's take an example of a father, mother, and a child. father, mother are not practicing devotion, but they want that child to be materially very successful. Now, is this pure devotion, pure love? No, it's not pure love. It's completely materialistic in nature. So this is mode of ignorance. It can be pure love. Just like how I got love of Godhead, how I got love for the subject of Bhagavatam, how I have love for the devotees. My son should also get the same. Then you will see there is transcendental qualities in that. That's the difference between perverted and the pure form. Is this clear, Prabhu?
Yes, got it. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for that.
So that's why you see father and mother, husband and wife, when they unite, they are not uniting out of love, they are uniting out of lust. So the child that is getting produced is also a lusty child rather than a pure-hearted child.
Pure hearted.
Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for wonderful.
Yes, Subramani Prabhu, you had a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
No questions, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other questions, thoughts? Okay.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes, Mataji.
You were talking about the siddhis, no, Prabhu. So, does every human have the same powers? Only thing is they are not focusing on the yogic powers, and they lack in that, or it's how does it work, Prabhu?
Every living entity has the ability to attain these siddhic powers. Every living entity. And how can they attain? By certain practices. If you do those practices, you can also attain the siddhic powers. But the question is, you have to ask, what's the use of getting that power? Power kills us, right? Today you see, someone who was in ordinary position became the president of an organization. Because he's very powerful, he doesn't possess the right knowledge. What does he do? He misuses that power and causes difficulty. So hence, that person should never become head of the organization. This is the problem of powers. So, anyone by this practice, they can get powers. But you should ask the question, what am I going to do with those powers? A devotee will say, oh, like Lakshmi ji is using all her opulence in service of Krishna, I will also use them in service of Krishna. Then such a devotee is perfect, even though he is possessing those powers.
So the power leads to greed.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Greed and all other qualities.
Okay.
You must have seen that in your personal life itself. Many examples would be there. Okay. If there are no other questions, let's end the class today. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa sindhubhyev cha. Patitanam pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo namo nam. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, that's it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Have a great day.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Dandavad pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Get well
Prabhuji.
soon, Prabhuji.
Only throat is gone.
Get well soon, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.